welcome back to my channel. It is that time of year where, the new year's coming up. I'm starting to really feel it, and it is time for me to get excited and get some new journaling stuff going on. So in this video, I'm gonna kind of walk you through what I'm doing to prepare for the new year. And also talk about what I did this year that really worked for me, which is definitely a little bit unique and more laid back than a lot of like journaling practices, and it is not super consistent like a lot of other people's journaling ecosystems and stuff. So first I want to talk about the journals that I currently have, what I did, what I'm doing, and what I'm going to change about them. And I'm gonna work through this process with you, so you'll get to see my desk a little bit. Okay, so this is my current journal ecosystem, if you could even call it that. I have two journals that I've been using this year. This one I actually started in the beginning of the year, and it is for this year. And then this one I started recently, and this one is going to last me quite a few years. I'll start with this one just because it's simpler. This is my gratitude journal. As you can see, I don't know how long it's gonna last me, so I left it blank for how long it's going to go, but this is a paper blanks book. Here's all the information about it. For this journal, I'm just writing like a little bit a day. I'm not really being too crazy about it. It's very simple, very sweet. As you can see, I really did just start this one, but I've been able to keep up with it, and I'm really liking it. So I'm just gonna keep this one, and I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. I just write a little bit of gratitude every day. I try to do at least 3 lines, whether that be multiple sentences or one big long sentence. I don't find it very daunting, and it's very easy to do. And also this book is just beautiful, as all paper blank books are. And then this is my main journal. This is kind of my catch-all journal. I do everything in here. In the beginning of the year, I set some main goals. I did a recap and some goals. A lot of these goals don't apply anymore just because either I changed my mindset so it doesn't matter to me anymore, or, things have changed. But, I have a lot of things in here. I have, reading trackers, I have little diary entries. I did some junk journaling, also just, little tidbits. Oh, I do book reviews in here. What else? I do unfinished book reviews in here. Just fun little things that I really enjoy. And I did some flowers from spring, as well as some Edgar Allan Poe quotes. I just kind of do some random stuff in here. And then I even started writing cursive in this journal, and I've really been liking the cursive. It's really therapeutic to write in cursive, and also ever since, my cursive has kind of started to get better since I've started doing this, I really have enjoyed writing in cursive. I mean, come on. But yeah, I'm pretty much done with this. So I am going to start a new journal. And there are a couple things that I want to keep the same and a couple of things that I want to change. Nothing with this one, but with this one. And we're going to talk through that in this video and just kind of brainstorm. So I'm going to pull up some scratch paper and we're going to vocalize what I want to do. Okay, I have my journal, and then I have this little notepad just because this is apparently all the scratch paper I have right now. I'm going to write down a couple of things. I'm going to write down things that didn't work, or things that didn't happen, things that did work, and things that I want to add so that we can figure out where we want to go with things. The first thing I know for sure is that this recap and goals thing wasn't good, because like I said,
things have changed over time. And so I want to be able to have my goals in a way where I can change them and I can adjust them. Some of these I did accomplish, but some of them I didn't accomplish just because I failed. And some of them I didn't accomplish just because I don't want to accomplish them anymore. Like this, I am not this obsessed with my body image anymore. I do not care about my weight. I did not complete this, but that's because I bought a car. I spent $800 and I bought a car. I had accomplished this goal until I bought my car. And I bought it right before I started college. And you know, you go to college and you're kind of living paycheck to paycheck. So that one didn't get completed. I'm just going to use my print so that you can see it better. So it did not work. Yearly goals. Okay. I did like my recap though. I really liked the way that I did this. And I think that this is a really, really good way to check in with yourself at the end of the year. So I'm gonna put over here, did work, and let's do year recap. Okay, there we go. When I started this journal, I was in school and we were doing a lot of free writes. And so a lot of my first diary entries were free writes that we did in class. And then, you know, I kind of started doing things on my own. But I have a lot of little entries like this where I kind of just write about things. They're just really little diary entries. And I kind of want to separate that from everything else. So I'm gonna write that diary entries did work. We'll put want, and I want diary separation. Perfect. Okay. Just gonna stick that on the table. I use this for lists as well. Like random lists. So like this is like a recent urges list, like just things I really wanted to do. But then I also had like a shopping list here. And then I also was keeping track of a bunch of posters that I was donating to my local K-pop store. I did like my study lists. You know, I have, there's a lot of lists in here. So I think I also would say that lists worked, but I also want those separated. I might need a journal that has 2 bookmarks or more. I also really liked my book reviews. I really liked doing these, but I want to read more. And I think that I want a separate reading journal. I really, really like this format and this size for my book reviews. So I think I'm gonna keep this. So really I'm just focused on organizing. This was like my trial run just to see like what my habits are and what I tend to do. I'm also gonna put on the did work note just things about this journal that I overall liked. I like that it had lines, and I liked the size. I could kind of carry it with me everywhere, and it wasn't too daunting to write out something big in it. Obviously, this is a really teeny tiny little notebook, and it lasted me all year just because I do go through stints of not journaling, but I have a lot of ADHD tendencies, and so, you know, I tend to hyperfixate on something and then stop after a while, and it like becomes really, really hard to do. And so, you know, I've gone through phases with this journal of wanting to journal really, really bad and like journaling every day, and then also phases where, you know, I haven't journaled in like 5 months. Sorry, my roommates are meowing outside. I don't know if you can hear it, but if you can, I apologize. We all like to meow at each other, so my roommates are meowing. That I do think I want a dot grade notebook just because I can still use it like lines, and it will also help me with boxes. I know for a fact that I really want to be more creative with this. I also don't like setting up my page every single time I want to write something, so I also want to be able to set out like a layout every month. Okay, so I think that this is pretty good. I honestly don't know how well you can see it. There you go, now you can see it. I think that now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a change section here. And because my yearly goals did not work, I think I'm going to do quarterly goals. And then trying to always write. I found that whenever I was making myself write, that was when I got burnt out and didn't write for months. But when, you know, I just kind of went with the flow and just wrote whenever I want to, was when I ended up writing the most, which is kind of the funk that I'm in right now. So I'm just gonna write here, no pressure. Yay! I'm just gonna add a couple of other things. So I'm gonna put keep. This is our little guide for when I go to the store. I'm gonna go and buy the journal now because my school's bookstore is going to close very soon, and I would like to get this and get it started today. I will meet you back here with 1 or 2 new notebooks. I'm back, and I did get 2 journals. So the first one I got was for my reading journal, and for that one I got this paper blanks one. It is the Flemish Rose. I love paper blanks because I always love learning about the art that the cover is from. It's the same as this one. These are the same kind of book. They're the A6 lined book with the pouch, and this one does have a strap. I just don't have it out yet. For my replacement for my catch-all journal, I did end up going for a Lightstrom. And I went with this one because it has the 2 bookmarks, and if I want to separate my lists from my diaries, I really wanted to have those 2 bookmarks, you know, so that I can mark where I am in my lists section and mark where I am in my diary section. It has a table of contents in the front, which means that I can write down the page numbers that my lists, my diary, all that other stuff starts. It's really good, and I ended up not going very much bigger. This one is like a little bit bigger, not too much. It is also dot grid, I forgot to say that. Let's get these unraveled and everything because I want to get a better look at them. This is my first Leuchtturm, and this is nice. And it has the 2 bookmarks. Oh, they're kind of stuck together. I'm pretty dang excited, if I do say so myself. I think this was the cheapest one out of all of them. I was really only willing to spend like $20 on each of these notebooks, and the $20 ones that they had ended up being like really big, and then they had the dot grid, but they didn't have it in any colors that I would have wanted for any of the bigger ones. Wow, I need to show you this in its full beauty because the cover was covering part of it. Wow, that is gorgeous. This is going to be such a wonderful reading journal. I'm so excited. So it is official. We are moving on from 2025 to 2026 ecosystem. Getting these both so early
it's gonna be really hard not to write in them. I actually got this to be my 2025 journal like 2.5 months ago, almost 3. I don't know. It was a while ago. I think it was September I got it, and I was like, ooh, we're reaching the end of the year, and it was hardly even the start of the 4th quarter. But I wanted to get one and get ahead of the game, but I was so ahead of the game that it was kind of just sitting around for a while, and then I started really wanting to start a gratitude journal, and I was like, wow, I need to get a gratitude journal. Wait, I have a journal in my house. And I was so excited about gratitude journaling that I just started it in this one, and it is now my gratitude journal. I'm gonna go to Daiso later, not today, probably later in the week, to get some stationery stuff. Let's get going on setting these up for the new year. I think that I'm going to really just do it kind of like by myself. I find that it is hard for me to record my writing and everything kind of in depth. So I'm just gonna hang out on my bed, set these up, and then I'll show you when I'm done. This video is gonna be so long if I just yap and yap and yap for the entire time that I'm doing it. So I'm just gonna film a time lapse and do it in peace and by myself, where I can reflect on myself, and then I will show it to you. Okay, I'm done, so let's talk about it. I didn't do very much, but that's just because that's my style, but I still want to show you what I did. I'm gonna start with my reading journal because I literally only did 1 page. Okay, I lied, I did 2. First one is the title. I'm gonna decorate it more, but I decided I wanted to use stickers, so I'm going to wait until I get cute stuff for that. And I did this little tracker for the first page. This is just for all of the books that I read. I'll put my star rating, the book title, the author of the book, the day I start it, the day I finish it, and how many pages it is. I only did 1 just to kind of see how I like it, and then I'm gonna leave quite a few open pages to make more charts like that, or charts that I think might work better. For the pocket, I didn't do anything to it obviously, but my plan for the pocket is that I usually print out tiny little book covers for my reviews, and so I think I'm going to store some in here for when, you know, I finish a book and I'm like, I don't really want to read that right, like I don't want to write about it quite yet, I want to let it sit. There's the reading one all ready for me, and then my catch-all, I did more stuff in it to really set me up for beginning of the year reflections and whatnot. I don't know if I'm gonna decorate this for the cover yet, so I'm waiting to do that. We'll just kind of see what happens, I think. The first pages are the built-in contents, and you can see I filled it out with what I have. So I have my 2025 recap, my goal reflection, and then my quarterly goals for 2026. And then I have a section for my lists and a section for my writings. I put the writings way up here because I want my contents to be in chronological order, and I know that I'm going to have important lists that I'm going to want to go back to, and I'm going to have important writings that I'm going to want to go back to. So I left all of these open so that I can fill those in there as time goes on. Now, as you can see, on page 1 is my 2025 recap. This is the same exact thing that I did for 2024. I just made boxes for some reason. I really liked it last year,
and I liked continuing to look back on it all throughout 2025. Next, I did my 2025 goal recap or reflections. This is kind of just where I talk about how well I did with my goals, why I did complete them or why I didn't complete them. I'm going to fill them in here when I do it, but I want that writing of the goals and of the results to be kind of a ritual in itself, so I didn't write them yet. There's a lot of space on the bottom here, so I might put something there too in the moment, but for now I'm just leaving it blank because I'm not sure what I want to do with all that space. Next, I have my quarterly goals, and this is the same thing. I did all of the same categories because I did like the categories. I just need them to be a smaller amount of time. And so I did enough space for all of the categories and then a little results thing at the bottom. So for each one, I can just write like completed or almost got there or utterly failed. Like I can just write a short thing of that, and then my 2027 page that is like this will probably be much more in depth and quite a few more pages because I'm doing it quarterly instead of just yearly. And then after that, we get into the lists section. I'll use this bookmark to kind of hold my place for where I am in the lists. And then further back in the book, I have my writings section, and I put writings because sometimes I do like diary entries or, you know, those fun little things I showed you. I might still want to do those sometimes, maybe little junk journaling moments where I write about it as well. So I just wanted to call it writings so that I can write absolutely whatever in here. So there you have it. There are my 2 new journals for 2026, and I'm sure that you'll see them featured in my vlogs and other videos that I make. The dining hall has opened for dinner, so I need to go eat. So I'm going to end the video here. I'm really excited to get started in these, and I really just hope that I can hold off. I need to not write in these before 2026. That was the problem with my gratitude journal. I got it for 2026 and then I couldn't wait, and so I made a whole new journal. It's a great journal and it's a great purpose and I've enjoyed writing in it, but that's not what it was for, and I can't let that happen to these two. I think I'm actually gonna put them up on my bookshelf so that I have to like climb up on my bed to get them if I want to write in them. So let's put these up there so that I can't access them. Okay, they're out of my reach. I can't touch them until 2026 or until I finish my other journals. With that, thank you so much for watching this video. It was so lovely to get to spend some time with you and, you know, work out my thoughts and everything, as well as actually enact those thoughts. I will see you all in the next one, and if you subscribe, the universe will have a 2026 journal magically fall on your doorstep one morning. Love you. Bye.